Welcome everyone to the Primeval Cast. We're back. Oh my God.
Cheers.
What's up, guys? This is the Primeval Cast. I am your host, Matrixlord212. And I'm with Louie. What's up, Louie?
Hey, everyone.
Okay, so what we're up to right now, we're returning with the Primeval Cast. It's going to be the anniversary of Primeval very soon. And we're going to pick up where we left off. We are up to Season 2, Episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So basically, I'll just bring up a little bit about the episode. Starts off where these women are playing paintball with this guy. And it turns out that this guy gets eaten by some type of Simodon or Sabertooth type of cat.
Smilodon, I think.
Smilodon. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I do apologize.
Okay. They're very
Smilodon.
complicated names. They are.
Yes.
Well, it's only because I've watched the show for so long that it's embedded into my head.
So there's a Smilodon that eats the guy. So now it jumps to Connor, and Connor is starting to go out with Caroline, right?
Yeah.
But she wants to meet him for coffee, and he has to go do his thing. So he takes a sip of coffee, he runs off, and Abby just wants him to go. She don't like Caroline at all. Turns out we see that Caroline is sending pictures of Rex to some mysterious person. Okay.
She got them paid.
Yeah. Like, what is she about? She's right away bad all of a sudden. We see that.
Adds a nice dynamic, I think, because you expect her just to be...
Right.
I think she's a bit too good to be true, so it's kind of nice to... It makes it a bit more believable, I think, because if someone like that went with Connor in real life, it'd be like...
Yeah, I'm out, buddy. You're not going to have coffee? You know, the hell with you. You can't make time for me. So we pick up where Cutter is talking to Jenny Lewis, and he's really trying to figure out the whole Claudia Brown thing, trying to find out, like, who's this fiance that she has that, you know, because in this universe she has a fiance and stuff like that, and he's trying to get close. And then Connor runs in, and he has this brilliant thing that he developed called an anomaly detection device. So he's all excited about it. Steven's there, you know, Jenny's there. They're all there. Even the guy Oliver, that just, you know, that Cutter has no memories because his first created, and it turns out that there was an anomaly that was detected, but they thought that the machine was not working. So, you know, Connor's all upset. They run off to the thing, and it turns out that the Smilodon is at this park, which is, I guess, the equivalent of a Great Adventure or a lower key Disney park where people are going on rides and stuff like that. But then we see all these subplots develop. Like, we see Helen contacting Steven. And it's like, what the hell is that about? And he's not Cutter. When later on, you know, you see he has he goes gets a little close with Valerie in this episode. But it's been. So we have a situation where they want to evacuate the park, and of course, you know, the PR person, and she's like, it would be disaster. That runs the park, Peter Campbell, it would be a whole disaster. So they're trying to find out. First, let's find out what his smile. Connor kind of jumps the gun and causes a panic in the whole entire park and shoots Peter Campbell when he's dressed as a lion, thinking that it's a creature, which is hysterical, meaning, dude, because every time you have guns, it's an issue. Yeah. He's just not ready yet. I guess he'll be in the future, but he's not ready yet.
Not good with guns, is Connor.
Right. So then he's racking his brain. He says, like, I dissected the device, the anomaly. Nothing is wrong with it. It has to be that this thing has been around for a little while. The anomaly happened way before the device. So Cutter's willing to get him some slack. and they try to investigate basically what the hell is going on. We're introduced to this lady, Valerie, who is the department park manager, and Peter Campbell is the head of the park. He owns or whatever. Also introduced to this guy on the West Farm. I think his name is Mr. West. He had some shady business dealings selling animals and stuff. So they try to get answers from him, and Cutter tries, and Jenny has to step in. She had, and it's like he can't, is abrupt. It turns out this guy is, I guess, German shepherds to attack dogs or something like that. But he's still a shady character too. And then this Valerie character is very concerned about why they are so interested in this animal, which is kind of like a red flag. It's like, what do you care, dude? She tries to make it like she's, an animal person and everything. There's a lot of factors in here. The factor is that there's this cat is starting to chew up people. Okay, killed one guy that they know of. So they start investigating, and they find out that there's bodies in this dirt ditch, right? Mm-hmm. And Cutter finds like a hand, and then the saber-tooth attacks. He has to leap in the pit to avoid that. Abby takes on the friggin' Smilodon with the damn friggin' crane, which is hysterical. And it's just a matter of like, it's great action sequences where Cutter is like, swinging through the whole entire park on that railing thing that they usually have in, like, say, like the Alps or something that goes through the whole entire park. It's like, and they have the thing riding on it. So he's like swings down like throughout the whole thing. Yeah, zip line. So Cutter is just like, boom, through the whole thing. And, again, the thing gets away and they're trying to figure it out. And Steven goes with Valerie, and she starts opening up to him a little bit. He opens up a little too much. And there's a reason why you can't say what's going on, because people formulate an opinion that's completely wrong. I mean, if you tell somebody a half-ass story, they're going to make up their own opinion of it, which really in the end ends up team and the situation. This lady believed that these guys are mad scientists creating the creature. She didn't know anything about the anomalies or whatever. So she right away formulated her opinion from Steven, little bits and pieces that he had, that they're bad people. It turns out bodies that are found is that the Valerie's husband or boyfriend or whatever was killed. And then you learn, that Valerie is the one that has been raising the animal since a cub. And she thinks she has a handle on everything. She's trying to feed the thing, but the thing's still killing people. So she can't control it. And even Cutter is like, look, it's going to eat you. Like it basically, you don't have any clue what you're talking about. You don't have any training. You don't know anything about this. I do. It's going to hurt you and kill you. But she don't know any better. She thinks, the thing thinks it's mother. The thing is a smart animal. He knows that she's feeding it, and she knows that she's stupid. But anyway, she tries to trap Cutter into the room with the Smilodon, and he uses like a table, like Captain America's shield, which was hysterical. He uses the light fixture, almost gives
he just
it a
uses
little
anything you can grab onto, like
electric shock thing. I mean, it was. I honestly love it how they choreographed how to get away from the Smilodon. Like I mean, it makes a lot of sense. You just grab whatever the F is near you. I mean, using a light fixture, give it a little shock. Then he's running to the porch, and then then there's nowhere to go. He's trapped. The creature goes to go after him, and then they shoot the creature, and the creature leaps over him into the woods. Okay, and then he goes after the creature, and Valerie just gets in the way. And she's like, it's okay, he's not going to hurt you, whatever. And the Smilodon eats her, which is like, hello, Cutter was right. And yes, they put the creature down. I mean, we have Abby, we have, before that, there was a situation with Mr. West where they had to get involved because Jenny had a situation with Mr. West. She was trying to make the guy take the fall for things with know everything completely, I guess. in her face where the team has, but and then Steven feels guilty because he knows that he created this situation. So there's this that starts, and Cutter tells Steven, he's like, tell her. And she formulated an opinion, and this is why we had a problem. And me, Steven's like defensive that before we tell everybody, and that's not.
I think what Joe was saying.
Okay. You
Hello?
See me?
Yeah,
you see me?
You just
okay.
You just out.
Okay. The that you can't, like, you got to follow. You got to be a team player. If Carter doesn't want anybody to know he's the leader of the group, you listen to
him. And this is a problem with the big divide that's caused by Steven.
Little information. Yeah, and then we have situations now. There's also, you hear me, Louie?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's a bit breaking up a little bit, but I can still hear you.
Louie, do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh. It's a situation where, like, again, now the best friends are keeping stuff from each other. You know, I mean, not Cutter, but
never good.
Right, never good. I mean, Steven and him were really close until this whole thing happened last season, where we find out that Steven was having sex with Cutter's wife, which was like, oh,
who he thought was dead at the time, which just adds salt to the wound.
We'll tell Cutter, hey, by the way, your wife texts me and stuff, you know, and he doesn't. You hear me? You hear me, Louie?
Yeah, no, I can hear you. I'm just listening to what you're saying.
Like, Steven doesn't. He should be telling Cutter everything. Hey,
exactly.
He's not. He's not.
Because that's what causes the problem.
He's starting to. Yeah, like, there's only one leader as far. When you start doing that, it's like you want to do your stuff.
And he's not being rational. He's not thinking straight. He's just letting. He's letting other people.
The problem is he loves her too.
Mm-hmm.
He loves Helen. So,
but I think at this point in time, Cutter's kind of done with Helen. He's focusing more on Claudia Brown and trying to pitch that all together. And he's trying to get Jenny. He doesn't understand Jenny. He doesn't know if he likes her. He has to go back to square one. It's just so confusing for him. Then on top of that, you've got Steven kicking off, and that's what I like. Like, this episode for me isn't the best of this series. I think it's probably one of the lowest episodes in this series. It's a strong episode, but I think it's let down with the lack of tension with Valerie, because it's quite obvious that she's the swing up with Valerie. But I really do like how this episode does something different. It's kind of like the beginning of the end for this team in its current form. Like,
yeah, you could sense it coming. You could sense it.
Yeah, you can sense something's going to kick off, because you've got Connor and Abby's little love triangle with Caroline. Then you've got Cutter and Steven, and even Jenny. Like, you kind of feel like, well, what role is she going to play? Because she's so different from Claudia Brown.
Right.
I feel it's like you're trying to get used to her, and
he's trying to figure out.
Sorry, go on.
Louie, do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I think we for some reason, I do apologize. We're having issues on the Zoom.
No, it's okay.
We're zapping out here and there.
Do you want to say what you were going to say?
Do you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. I just didn't know if it was frozen or not.
Hold on a sec. Continue, Louie.
Okay, I was just going to say, this episode, I like the idea of the Smilodon. I like the idea that it's a pet, kind of. It's not just a creature coming through, and it's not a pack of them. It's like you get more of an emotional attachment to the creature, I think, because you kind of feel sorry for it at times. Like, it's trapped in this world. It doesn't know what it's doing. It's not natural, although at the same time, it's a wild animal. And you kind of feel for Valerie as well. Like, she wants to know what's going on. But because Steven doesn't tell her, he just hints, because he doesn't feel it's right that he's keeping it that they're keeping it a secret. So then Valerie automatically assumes it's a bad thing. Whereas if he had just sat her down and had been honest in the first place, this episode would have been very different. I think Valerie would still be alive. And I think that kind of strengthens both of Cutter's and Steven's arguments. Like, I think it strengthens Cutter's into someone's died because of the truth, like thinking they know what's going on. We need to keep it completely silent. And on the other hand, Steven's saying, well, this is just proved that people need to know or people are going to keep dying. So they both get quite like strong opinions formed, I think, from this incident, if that makes sense.
Yeah. You hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you fine. But and again, you get more tension at the end of the episode where Oliver leaks, like the Sabretooth's been destroyed, and Cutter gets quite funny about that. Like, it was a perfectly healthy animal, and he tries to blame it on Abby, and he's like, don't you dare blame it on Abby. Like,
he knows right away that Oliver leak is full of crap.
He's like, well, what the hell are you talking about? It's perfectly fine.
Yeah. Like, so you know what? It's got to be bad for him because he's in a completely altered universe, and now this is his home permanently. So yeah, he's got to know where he's living in this universe. He's got to know who he's friends with in this universe, because I guess the Cutter of this universe, which does exist, is probably somehow swapped with his universe, where that Cutter might be with Claudia Brown in that universe.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my theory anyway. I mean, because basically the Cutter of this universe does exist, but he's gone. So I think the moment that the anomaly thing happened with that freak thing, they swap places. It was sort of like when he's supposed to go through the portal, it kind of got twisted. The universes got twisted. And on our Cutter went into that universe, and that Cutter went into the Claudia Brown universe. Because he can't just erase from existence. He's got to be somewhere else, which could lead to an opening,
How I see it personally is a timeline evolution was changed by the future predators being in the past. And that changed the future, and it changed it. So stuff that Claudia Brown never existed, the Ark never existed, but now that stuff that never happened before.
Well, it existed, but it sped up the process where they built this place that they moved to.
It's like, if you believe in fate, like everything happens for a reason. Well, say fate was muddled around with and different things happened. And it was alternative paths were taken. Like, it's a bit like the episode of Doctor Who, Turn Left. What would happen if you turned left?
Right.
Like, how would it affect? Like, it's like that. What would happen if a different predator was in the Permian era? How would that affect today's?
And I really enjoyed this show. I mean, it's it's a shame that it's not on the air anymore. But this has so much potential. Me viewing it from the first time. Now we're in season 2. It has so much potential, I feel, to go into all these different directions. But again, because I know we probably don't have much time, at the end we find out that Oliver Leak has been paying Carolyn for information and to basically hook up with Connor, and which is a big problem they're gonna have, I'm sure, in the future, the group, because what is this guy's agenda?
And it's. This series for me is like a highlight of the show. Like, there's great things to come after the series, but for me, this is like, it's just so nostalgic for me. Like, this series in particular, like the storyline, it's kind of like the beginning of the end for the original team.
Now, I originally didn't like this episode as much as the other episodes.
I think this is a weaker episode just because it's quite. The tension with where Valerie's concerned, it's quite obvious there's something up with Valerie, and they kind of play it as if it's like a shock moment when it's revealed she's behind it all, when it's kind of...
It's the old adage, too, that a woman comes between the best friends. And this guy is just, I mean, I'm sure he has plenty of women here and there, and it's always a situation where he don't give full information based on the woman doing this or that, and I mean, we've seen 2 things in this episode. We've seen Valerie and we've seen Helen. I mean, he's causing a problem for the group that it may be a huge thing in the end.
Yeah, I agree.
Huge mistake. So,
I mean, this episode, although it's not my favorite, it does have some great action sequences of like the JCB, the little digger thing. With Connor shooting the guy in the head, that's a great moment.
That was great.
It's very comedic, and it's just so Connor. It fits.
Right.
And it like cause that's what I love about the show. It can go from being really tense and dramatic and action sequence, and then to being like a funny moment. Like even when Cutter's like fighting that Smilodon in the house, and
Right.
he electrocutes it. It's like you kind of like, oh, it's funny, it's realistic.
Right. What I think it's even more telling is that I don't know if you caught it, but the fact that Steven got the phone call from, Cutter, and then he realized that he made a mistake because maybe he caused a problem. So he's trying to race, not just because of the situation, but he's trying to get to Valerie, thinking she's in the car because he wants to talk to her before she gets to Cutter. And then he finds out that the mechanic has the car.
And he's pissed.
And he's trying to, he was going to fix it for her, whatever it is. So
he realized it's been played by Valerie.
And he's kind of, in his mind, he's like, well, what if my best friend dies now because of my negligence? But of course, like when they deal with each other, when his best friend, Carter's like, what did you say to her? Because he knows, he knows
he's
that.
He's not a stupid man. He's a professor.
He knows that the smiling, beautiful woman's like, to him. And he's like, yeah, we know about these things and we do these things. And then, he knows that Steven screwed up. That's the whole point.
And he knows that, I don't know if you remember in episode 2 with the worms in the office, the fog. At the end of that episode, they have a moment where Steven says, we need to start telling people. And Carter says no. And I think this is where they kind of go their own ways in terms of friendship.
Because you know what it is? The situation wouldn't have gone to this if it wasn't Steven's fault. But Steven has an ego. And he's like, They're
too macho. And although Cutter's not macho in the sense that he's like Steven, like he's not cocky.
Steven wants to run the show, I think. Yeah, I mean, ultimately... He feels, look, I got this. I got his wife. I mean, even though they're friends, he's still in love with the guy's wife, and he's still doing a slimy thing. And he's doing a slimy thing because she caused people to die and stuff. So he's screwing around with the wife. He's trying to pick up this chick. And it's like he's getting a kind of confidence, overconfident he's becoming. He's becoming, I got this girl, I got this one, I could lead the group. And it's going to be disastrous, I think. I mean, it's going to blow up in his face, and he's going to feel horrible about it. So it's just disgusting, though, because they're really close. And even everything they went through, they resolved everything. At least they think so with the Helen thing. But keeping more secrets is just no good for Cutter,
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Completely agree.
All right. I hope you guys enjoyed our cast.
Yeah. I hope you will enjoy it and go out and watch the episode.
Right. As time allows, do more and more. Of course, we work, so we have to grab time as it allows and stuff. And there's a lot of stuff going on with Doctor Who that's taking up our time with the news and stuff too. But
that's true.
We are going to try to do everything we can to make this anniversary perfect.
Next week, next week Friday is a big anniversary, so I'm sure we'll do something.
We're going to try to pop out as many Primeval's casts as we can for the weekend and next week, to culminate.
Maybe do a live reaction to a certain episode.
Maybe we can get season 2, before the anniversary, going into season 3 and see what happens.
That'd be great. Right? Maybe we could get it so we could. There's a particular episode 3 of series 3. I'd love to get your reaction to.
Okay.
For the viewers to see.
I mean, we basically, when we finish the season, we do a special. We do a Primeval special. Yeah, it's going to be a second special because it's going to be the second season recap. So we're going to have that. We're also going to try to get other people that are going to be on here with us. And we're going to do a kind of a tangent from the show where we don't, because I want to try to have the number count equal the episode count. Exactly. So we may do a Primeval Unlimited where we get to have, just like we have Ruhuvian's Cast Unlimited, where we get to have different people's reactions to Primeval and
get to ask them questions.
Yes, but it'll be a different format. It wouldn't just be like one person per episode. It'll be us asking them questions and going through that.
Just general discussions.
Yeah. So look for Primeval Unlimited. Look for the Primeval special that we're going to have, and look for more Primeval casts. Thank you, Louie.
Thank you, Joe.
Oh, and Louie, talk about we have a Primeval Facebook page.
Oh, yeah, we've got a Primeval Facebook page. I'm off college now for a couple of days, so I can get to work on it. But I think at the minute it's called the Primeval Cast page.
Yeah, Primeval Cast. And we're going to try to
yeah.
upload this into YouTube and onto the Facebook page within the hour. So
we've got a few members on there at the minute, but I need to start updating the website, get some cool pictures on, get some
Louie's in
stuff.
charge of that because I have too many pages.
God, yeah. I've just been very busy at the minute. But I can dedicate some time to it tomorrow, hopefully.
All right. You're the best, Louie. Thank you. And again, if it wasn't for Louie, and Louie's been really loyal with the whole Primeval thing, and he knows I'm busy, but it's a great
because
you've got things so we could try to.
You've got the DVDs now, I believe, of a few.
Yes, I got season 1, 2, and 3 DVD. I guess
awesome.
season 1 and 2 is on one DVD, and then season 3 is on a separate DVD, and I got to buy more. So yes, thank you, Louie.
We could do like a DVD review, maybe show off the cases.
Yes, definitely going to do that. So we got my co-host, and we're all set. Just to contact Louie on the Facebook page, Primeval Cast. All right, guys.
All right, bye, guys.
Take care. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.